Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. Woo! This is a daily dose for Friday, October 30th, day before Halloween. So grab your coffee. Let's get into it and see what's going on. Today's daily dose is brought to you by the Tri-State Radiology Center located in Fort Mohave, Arizona. Tri-State Radiology is here to serve the tri-state area. We accept most insurances and offer cash pay prices. When you have a minute, log on to our website at tsradiology.com, and there you'll find interesting facts and see why imaging is such a benefit for you and your care provider. At Tri-State Radiology Center, your image means the world to us. All right, let's see what's going on. Bullhead City basks in historic spotlight. We're still kind of getting it together after the historic visit by President Trump on Wednesday. This is a nice long story. It carries over to page 3, and it's pretty long about, and I'm one to tell you about long stories because all of mine are long. But kind of an interview with a lot of people in the community, including Toby Cotter, talking about what this meant to them, what it means for the city. Some of the insights as to Toby was called by national media outlets to kind of find out more about Bullhead City, like where the hell is Bullhead City, kind of a thing. You see there's a nice picture there. Kane shot that of President Trump pointing towards the crowds, the big crowds out there. It was funny. We had one of the national spotlights news organizations was saying that there was about 4,000 people out there. There's maybe 4,000 people in the stands, but when you count the people in front in chairs, and there's a giant crowd behind us. We're estimating around 15,000. Most of the people that we talked to estimated it about the same as well. Halloween is tomorrow, and there's a long list here of different things that are going on. Today, Joshua Springs is having a drive-through trick-or-treat today from 4:30 to 6:30. That's up at Joshua Springs, right off the Parkway, at the top of the hill there. Residents are going to be there handing out candy, so that's important to them. That'll be nice. Tomorrow, Kiwanis of the Colorado River is going to have their annual trunk or treat from 5:30 to 8:30. That's over at Gary Keith Park, where they just had Cornfest. They're also going to have the Scream in the Dark haunted house open again, so that'll be running as soon as it gets dark. Over at Anderson Fieldhouse tomorrow from 11 to 4, they're going to have their Halloween Spooktacular. So they're going to have bounce houses and games and rides and a bunch of stuff. That's until 4. Then at 6 o'clock, they're holding their trunk or treat event, which will have a costume contest and a bunch of candy. So head on over to that. In Laughlin, the Renaissance Realty is serving as a host for the Laughlin trunk or treat. That's from 5 until 8 tomorrow. And the Mohave County Sheriff's Office Public Outreach Program will have their candy crawl from 5 to 7 Saturday. That's up in Kingman. So there's some opportunities for the kids to get out and do that. Remember, there's no regulations or orders or anything else keeping kids from trick-or-treating. So you can trick-or-treat. Just use the same precautions you would always, and try and maintain some social distancing. We got 2 stories here on COVID. One is our county health director, Denise Burley, is concerned about the uptick in coronavirus cases. From mid-September to mid-October, we averaged about between 55 and 65 a week. A couple weeks ago, it went up to 83. A week ago, it went up to 101. And so far this week, we're already at 116 before we add in today's number. So we'll see what happens there. But the other one is, for the second time in a week, we got cases reported at one of our elementary schools. A few days ago, it was Sunrise Elementary, and now it's Bullhead City's Fox Creek Junior High. So it was a total now of 6 confirmed cases in the district. 5 of them were students, one is a teacher. One of the students has recovered, we know. The rest of them are considered active still, so keep an eye out for that. Speaking of schools, a former Malk employee, or no, a current Malk employee, was arrested Thursday after a former student accused him of sexual relationships with her when she was 15. 42-year-old Joey Leslie was arrested on several different charges. Basically comes down to she's 21 now. She went back and accused him of having a relationship over 3 years when she was 15. So, Arizona governor defends school rule as virus storm looms. This is kind of a weird one. Governor Ducey is warning about a storm there's a storm ahead on the coronavirus thing, but at the same time he kind of relaxed the school district protocols for in-person versus remote learning. It's kind of an odd one. The health department, the health services department said these are the things that you have to make, and if you hit any one of these, you have to go back to remote learning. Governor Ducey quietly changed it where you have to hit all 3 of them for 2 weeks before it goes back to remote learning. So I don't know if he's kind of buckling from the pressure of the community that's trying to get through this, or what's going on, but the health services department is not happy. You're saying that there's going to be a storm brewing, and we see the numbers climbing again, and instead of saying, well, let's stick with what their recommendations are, instead he imposed his own quietly without anybody knowing. Let's see what else. Jobless claims are down, but there's some cautious optimism there. Jobless claims fell to 751,000 around the country, but in a lot of areas it says the numbers are upticking, as we just talked about. They're happening here. There's a nice picture of Jonathan Williams. Jonathan is a freshman at Mohave High School. He's been kind of leading the JV team, but he's also been performing real well on the varsity team. Here's him warming up before the junior varsity beat Prescott Wednesday 49-7. So keep an eye on this young man. He's a freshman. He's been nominated a couple times for our Athlete of the Week. He hasn't won yet, but I would be surprised if he's not in it every week during the football season. So we'll see what happens. Weather, another beautiful day. You know, yesterday was awesome. Today it's supposed to be a sunny and high around 89. It's going to be about that, the same over the next couple of days. Nice and warm. There's a nice fishing story about the trout. Trout season has arrived. So if you're a trout fisherman, get out there and start pulling them in. This, again, has been brought to you by the Tri-State Radiology Center. The Tri-State Radiology Center offers same or next day appointments, and they accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal. They have a wide open MRI, offer digital x-rays with your digital x-ray reports ready in 24 hours. So call today for an appointment at 928-460-7226. And just a reminder, the Daily Dose and Valley Voices are now available to stream on the Anchor app, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Those links are below the description here, and go and check them out. We have a Valley Voices that's dropping today at about 11 o'clock. It's with Carrie Faring. We did last week, we did an interview with 3 of the writing candidates. This week it's going to be the other candidate that's on the ballot, Carrie Faring. She's also been on the board for a few months now, so you can kind of hear what's going on with her and what her philosophy is and why you should vote for her. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. I will be out at the trunk or treat for Kiwanis, and spending a little time in the Scream in the Dark as well. So go on and check it out. I hope to see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.